GM guys. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you being here. It is Wednesday, January 7th, 10 a.m. here on the East Coast. Let's get it. Hope your week is cruising by, just absolutely cruising. We got a few more days. If you're working for the weekend, you got just a few more days, man. You got today, you got tomorrow, and then, fortunately, we got Pizza Friday. So that's usually a quick one because I know we're all just chomping at the bit at that point to get pizza for lunch or dinner, whatever it may be. But thanks for being here. Let's go ahead. If you are if you are watching the live stream, go ahead and smash that like button. If you are in the space, I'm gonna do the same thing. I see my guy Luca in the building saying, "Roll up, let's get it, roll up." I think it's "roll out" are the actual lyrics to that song, but I'm gonna use Luca's words. Roll up, let's go. Hope things are well. Is this like a regular every day? We're back, man. I'll tell you what, Brian, we are back, back in action. The whole point is to get to get things back on track. That was the role, the point of this new year. So thank you guys. Mike Lowry in the building. Let's get it. Oh, let's go. Let's go. All right. I see Mike the Modern Canadian. I'm going to bring you up as my co-host so that I've got the opportunity. Luca, I'm going to invite you to speak if you'd like to come up. And this way I've got that support just in case Twitter decides to rug me. Cheers. Good morning. Let's take a sip of our coffee together. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Mike, thank you. Just so you guys know, Mike the Modern Canadian and I are going to do a stream tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll have more information and links and all that stuff coming out later today. But we're going to stream tonight. We're going to go over the markets. We'll see how the markets reacted. It'll be interesting to see how they go. I think there's some numbers coming out like right now or sometime short this morning. We should hear some numbers reports. But to see how things go from this point in the day until tonight, when most of us have put our children down to bed and it's time for some parent time or whatever. So 9 p.m. Eastern, Mike and I are going to stream. Hope you guys can join. Set a reminder once you see the alerts and all that stuff come out. So boom, let's go. Mike, what's up, brother? How's your day going?
It's going, dude. It's kind of in a trade for a little bit of a nail biter, and we just literally, as you were talking, we had a huge red candle, so I'm in a short. So
You switched it,
a
huh? You
little bit
went
of
from the
pressure
long. You went
relief.
from long short.
Yeah, I closed my long on the daily. I don't like. I didn't want to even get in a stop loss. I wanted to like have it like there's no need to lose more money. Like it didn't look like it's gonna come down, so I'll get back in with a better entry later.
You were saying to me the other day, 94,000, I think, was our key level, right? Like we had to close and stay above that. If we stayed above it, we were bullish. If not, look what's happening, right? We did not keep that momentum. We did not stay there. Obviously, Bitcoin is at, let me go to the chart, 91.5 today, down 2.25%. So we bring I should actually, what I need to do is put that here, bring you guys up, share this tab. Let's go. Boom. There we go. All right. Now y'all can see what's going on. Man. Look, this is just an opportunity for people to understand. One, we obviously weren't ready for the big show, right? You had said it very loud and clear that 94 was a very important level for us. And look, we were all smoking the hopium. I know I'm a victim of it myself, hoping for, that this was it. That was the bottom. But we all know full well that 75 is really the trajectory we're going. We still have to retouch that wick that went down to like 80 something, 82, right?
Potentially, I don't have the chart up with me right now, but yeah, it's again, it was above 94, or and consolidating above 94 is bullish, but we just got rejected by it yet again. Like I think this is like the third time. So until we get above there, I can't really say that we're going for a long run.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. So the wick Friday, November 21st went to the low of 8. 80,632. Okay, let me bring this up so you guys can see this here. And it was right here, right? This wick. We'll zoom in on it. Right there. 80,600. That's something. I mean, we all know the saying, the wicks and the candlesticks, yada yada yada. Luca, GM, brother, how are you?
Hey, good morning, J Chains. Hi, everybody. Having a good Wednesday so far, eh?
Let's get it. Let's get it.
I have a question for you two. I have a question for you two guys in the charts. Okay, there's some discussion, maybe a little debate over whether we're playing out an Adam and Eve pattern, or if this is just like another what's it called, Wyckoff accumulation, and we're seeing like the ABC. Wondering like if you and Mike have any thoughts on that and which way you're leaning out of the two, or maybe there's a third option I'm not seeing.
Panda's coming up, but Mike, go for it.
There's definitely an Adam and Eve double bottom potentially playing out on the daily. But then on the other hand, there's also potential that we're just making a bear flag on the daily, right? So we need to get above 94,000 for that Adam and Eve to really start playing out.
Can you guys explain the Adam and Eve pattern? I actually don't understand that.
So the Adam and Eve pattern, if you look on the daily, it makes it goes down and then it makes a double bottom and makes a rounded bottom. So it's like a top decline and then a rounded bottom.
All right. Panda, GM, welcome up. You're on mute, Panda.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey,
GM, how's
GM,
everyone doing?
Good. What do you make of today's dump?
It's tough. Like I was initially watching. For me, the big one to watch was the delisting of strategy from MSCI. But MSCI announced yesterday that they would keep strategy more or less listed on its indices. If they would have said delit, and the decision was supposed to take place by Jan 15th. So with that headwind out of the way, I thought not necessarily clear skies ahead, but that was the biggest like headwind for me because that would have been super bearish for BTC. So, I mean, look, I'm not like a huge technical guy, but I know the 200-week moving average has always been that big baseline of support. Look, if we zoom all the way out, I think the worst it'll get is like a drop to 60K, which is quite significant from here. But I don't know. I'm not so much paying attention of was there a catalyzing force today? Something in the news I missed? I know there's some news with Rubio saying we intend on U.S. intends on acquiring Greenland now. I know they got a ton of resource minerals untapped, etc. I would have thought like that would pump the markets, but maybe the geopolitical fear is driving this. I don't know if there's another catalyst out there.
Mike, did you say earlier that there's some numbers possibly coming out somewhere today?
Yeah, I heard in my trading group that there's jobs numbers coming out around 10 o'clock today. So that's probably why you've been seeing some volatility.
Let's see.
Look, it could just be short-term gyration. Look, just small pullback, and then back to the regular action. Let's see. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like if you've been in crypto for a while, and I know it sucks, right? People are tremendously scared of what you just said, 60,000. I thought 75 was pretty good place for a lot of support. There's a lot of historical support over there. But anyway, so say we do stop at 75. I mean, that's a fucking gift. To get $75,000 Bitcoin again, because you know where it's going. Again, look at the news. We talked about this yesterday. Bank of America, 4% to their wealth clients, their private wealth clients. That's going to be a standardization. Like that's not just like this isn't let's just give it a try. Like that's their standard number, 4%. That's a big fucking number, and that's just Bank of America, right? And so you're going to see a huge supply shock coming up soon. There's going to be a price shock that goes with it. And with that being said, like you understand where this goes. And so if for whatever reason, Bitcoin does go to 60,000 or 75 or whatever, even 80,000, fucking buy it. That's your chance of a lifetime right there.
Yeah, I think we're definitely in a Wyckoff accumulation right now.
What's up, Bobcat? GM, brother.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well. Got a chance to go through the man. I'm looking forward to chatting with you some more. Went through that like the report.
Yeah, man. Hopefully it was interesting.
Yeah. Like, can't tell you guys anything other than Empire. Y'all, most of you guys know about that anyway. Woo. Woo. What's up, Jay? Welcome to the crew.
What's up? What's up? Hey, so the thing about us going to 60K in Bitcoin is our altcoins are going to drop. And I'm going to buy more altcoins instead of fucking Bitcoin like an idiot because I do it every single time.
You know, it's funny. I was talking to my mom yesterday, and she was saying, like, kind of what's the plan? And I said, if I were you, like, I would just start DCA in it, and that's my plan, right? That's one of my things that I'm going to add into my thing is start DCAing just some Bitcoin, and I already do to some regard, right? So on my Cash App card, all my roundups go to Bitcoin, all the roundups, and so I do DCA in some regard, but like I want to make it more of a concentrated effort to like pile in right now.
Yeah, I have the Coinbase credit card and everything, all my rewards are on Coinbase. I get Bitcoin. So that's my Bitcoin DCA, but man, I feel like a retard sometimes just consistently buying altcoins, knowing Bitcoin's going to go up.
Well, it was all part of the look. It happened to all of us. One of my biggest blunders is that I took a full Bitcoin and turned it into altcoins, and then ultimately bought a mutant ape with it.
Yeah, I almost had one Bitcoin when Bitcoin was sitting around 15,000, and then it pumped up to 40,000. I was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna sell this shit. I'm gonna buy some altcoins," and that's what I did. And man, that was dumb of me.
Yeah, I feel like there's nothing wrong with buying altcoins, but I think we need to understand the right time to buy them. I think you need to focus on you get your Bitcoin and then it goes up, and then selling to altcoins is fine because money will rotate into altcoins, but you have to do it at the right time. And then like that's typically when you have altcoin season, so you want Bitcoin dominance to go down before you get into alts, and then they need to be strong. They need to hold up. Well, even though Bitcoin will consolidate or go down, you want altcoins to hold, and that's when you can see altcoins are going to start to do well. And then you can rotate. You can even make more money that way, and then you bring it back to Bitcoin at the end.
Yeah, well, there was some comments left by Brian over on YouTube saying, "Buy from the top 100. Stop buying crap altcoins. Buy only quality."
Yeah, the institutions in February are moving into Bitcoin, so now's the time to get it if you want it.
And that could be for the reason it could be a forced push down for the institutions to be able to load up, because you got to think like now that it's okay and they've got to do custody, they're going to have some reserves. So look, supply shock is going to come with a price shock, and it's going to fucking happen soon, like real soon. Craig, oh my guy, what is up?
James, happy healthy New Year to everybody. I'm in the station. It's funny. 2 months ago, and I'm like, geez, that for food.
Is that just me, or he's really
No.
me too?
Okay, I thought it was just me. Craig, let's take a lap. There was some crazy sounds coming out from your mic. Sound like a robot, an alien robot.
How about now?
Nah. Try again. He'll be back. All right. We'll get him. Craig will be back. Well, One thing I wanted to talk about, it looked like this was in the news yesterday. If you're looking at like, and if anybody doesn't care about like ETF inflows, outflows, all that kind of stuff, you know, it's something to pay attention to, especially when you're looking at the markets, because it's like, all right, what are the whales doing? What in the world would the whales be doing? And you can get a really good gauge at that by checking these ETF inflows, right? And obviously, IBIT, BlackRock, uh, this entire year has been positive. 3 days, 3 days they've had inflows, while all the other had an outflow yesterday. They still had an inflow. So what are the whales doing? Buying Bitcoin. The whales themselves are buying Bitcoin. That's the shit you got to be paying attention to. Like, and look at the IBIT. I think honestly, I know some people are like, dude, that's BlackRock. Yeah, but they know what they're doing. They don't fucking lose ever.
I think it's important to like come into this space with the right mindset. Yes, there's an opportunity to get rich quick here, but like most people don't. So I think you should have the opportunity to like understand that this is a slow game. Even though crypto is like the fastest horse in the race, it's still like you want to become like rich and wealthy. It's gonna take time, and you got to invest in and protect your capital as much as possible. Like the idea is not to lose money, right? That's like Warren Buffett's idea. Like protect your capital at all costs. So invest accordingly, and then take small risks on altcoins because they can outperform, and then you just roll it into to safety down the road, and it's just keep moving your money to things that are risk and not risk and at the right time. But understanding when to do it is like where you need to get the knowledge gap.
And you can get that knowledge from Mike and I tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern. We're going live for our first Wednesday night live stream, the co-stream. We're going to be charting, chatting, looking at some news, looking at some market stuff. So make sure you tap into that. Craigo, let's go for it, my guy. How we doing now?
How are we round two? Are we better now?
Oh, baby, we are good to go.
Beautiful. I was going to say, happy and a healthy new year to everyone. And may we have much prosperity. And importantly, to protect the dry powder. And I kind of had this thought around DCAing. So I put some powder to the side for Bitcoin. So every week, every Friday, I don't care if price is up or down, I just continue to buy a little Bitcoin. And then I say there are these assigned price thresholds where I will put more than the amount that I've allotted for each week. That discipline is so incredibly hard. Hence, I'm reading Atomic Habits, so I'm hoping I get into this good habit. I also found myself a victim of buying more Pepe. And you say, oh, Craig, you're stupid. And then for those that love Pepe, they'd be like, oh, that's a brilliant move because we watched this spike and I felt this FOMO. And I'm like, all right, so if I'm going to narrow in on one or two memes, let one of them be Pepe, and then maybe a couple other community-based plays. As far as with the Amex card, I got that card about 2 months ago, and I love getting Satoshis off of every spend. The problem is when you go and move stuff to your cold wallet, they then, even if you pay off your credit card for that particular month, they banish the rewards because you have to be holding on their platform for at least a year in order to have those rewards. So just something for people to know. But it is nice to pull a Black Amex out of your card, out of your wallet and be like, yeah, coffee's on me. Happy and healthy New Year to everyone.
I love that. That's a nice little mic drop there at the end. Happy New Year to you as well. Look, today that's another thing I want to get into. I wanted to talk about kind of the look. It's a builders in a bags kind of show today, right? It's when we talk about the bags, we're talking about the Bitcoin stuff. When we're talking about builders, I want to get into like stable coins, RWAs, like real adoption, what's going on. We'll get to that in a little bit. And then towards the end of the show, I want to do a little bit 1% better. And because here's the deal. Today officially is the last day of your first full week of the new year. And, some people's habits could have died real quick as far as trying to get a resolution or whatever going. And so let's have a little accountability session and see what we can do to help each other, maybe pick back up some of the things that we were trying to get done that have fallen off. Just a quick little 1% better kind of thing. So we'll talk about that at the end. But as far as kind of the thing, swimming with the whales and all that's going. Look, you guys, it's really interesting how sentiment can change fast. You can hear someone on one day, talking about, and I laugh about this, right? And almost I think I was like intended to with a crypto bubbles screenshot this morning, because yesterday I had posted something about, everything was green, like, oh, we're so back. And then today it's like, oh man, by the dip, it's like this back and forth of what is the market doing and what are people saying, the sentiment, and you watch like the flip flop happening, like, well, where's everybody at? How are we feeling? Like, I again, earlier in the show, I had said, and when Mike was talking, like, we had spoken, all of us many times about this. I firmly believe that, again, that candle wick that went down, or that wick that went down to 80,000 has to be revisited. 75 really is more of like my target. But with that being said, we did draw a few weeks ago. Let me see. I got to go to the Bitcoin chart, and I have to go to a different one because we ended up drawing, or was it the total market on the weekly? We ended up drawing. I know this chart was that head and shoulders. Was that Bitcoin, right, Mike? Earlier this week? I think on the Bitstamp.
Sorry, I have to get back to my
Yes.
XF. I'm looking at the charts.
Yes.
Yeah, it was Bitcoin. It was Bitcoin on the it's more clearly on the weekly, but you can see it on the daily as well.
Right. So I've got that pulled up now. Here, I'll pull it up live full stream so you guys can see that. So this is what we drew based on this potential head and shoulders that Bitcoin is setting up. And dude, it's like for the first part of it, like it was running. So it's right now, like literally in the middle of the line that we drew on this show a few weeks ago. 2 tankers were seized. That's probably why the market's reacting. We've seized, I think, 2 Russian oil tankers in the Atlantic Ocean. I saw a headline about that a little bit ago.
Just saw that.
Ay. Are we trying to go to war? Or is that really what's happening? I thought we were really not interested in that, but seems like that's what's happening. I'd rather just see the market pump. We're supposed to be sick of winning. Yeah. Unless you're a country or
I'm sick of something.
What's that, Mike?
I'm sick of something.
I'm sick of the winter. I'll tell you what. It was actually been pretty nice here over the last couple days. But I feel like, like last night it was humidly cold, and you've got probably a couple more pushes. Even if you're in the South, you got a couple more pushes of cold weather that you don't want to deal with, especially after being up north. I was in New York and Chicago for I think a week or maybe a little bit more, and man, I just not built for the cold anymore. I don't know about you guys. Canadian.
I've been in Canada my whole life, and I'm not built for the cold. I don't like it. I want to go and live in Portugal, man. That was beautiful over there.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you know what? Here's the deal. You can ultimately be the main representative for the olive grove that's going to be over in Greece, maybe in the beginning. You get yourself over to Portugal. You got yourself a spot.
I'm gonna have to change my name to the modern pork chop.
The modern what?
The modern pork chop.
That's pretty funny. The modern. You said pork chop, right? Like a pork chop.
Yeah, that's what they call us, pork chops.
Oh yeah. Okay. I'm into that. Bobcat, what's up, brother?
Not much, man. Just chilling.
What do you think?
Just chilling.
What are like the main reps called for each division?
What do you mean?
Like if you were to run like like Mike were to run the Olive Grove, you get to run the cabin with the Bitcoin powered hot tub.
Oh, ambassadors. Yeah, just ambassadors.
Yes, the Empire Ambassador. Like
Yeah.
like you've been.
But yeah, so securing farmland is definitely a good first move for sure.
Got a lot more information for you guys coming up. You'll have to wait until Tuesday. I'm just gonna tease some things between now and then, but you'll have to come back for an NF Tuesday, where we'll talk about building real things in the world. Empire down.
But we're cooking in the background.
What's that?
We're cooking.
Oh,
I said we're cooking.
Like two chefs in the kitchen cooking up. What's that song in the kitchen? Cooking up some pastries, some stir fries or whatever.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. Stir fry and pastry. Oh. All right, guys, make sure you smash the like button if you're watching the stream. Make sure if you go down to the purple. There's actually quite a bit of you that done the purple pill thing. I appreciate that. Thank you. That's how we get some more people in here. But make sure you tag some friends and tell them to come on up if they want to talk. Because obviously, if you're in here and you wanted to talk, you know the drill. Raise your hand and come on up to the stage. All right. When I kind of laid out some of the things I want to talk about, builders and bags, right? And usually I open this floor to company like projects or anybody, again, it's builders and bags, so it applies to anybody. Like if you're a bag holder of a project, you could talk about it, or if you're a builder of a project, you can talk about it, and that's usually what this is about. But as far as kind of like building in the space and realizing where we're at, to keep the conversation moving, one of the things I want to talk about, like what's actually working in crypto, in blockchain, all that. You got stable coins, RWAs, and real adoption. Like this stuff is actually happening. And I had put out a tweet earlier this morning. Let me pull this up on the back end so I can reference this correctly here. And it was crypto adoption hasn't happened yet. And the reality is stablecoins are already being used for payments, remittances, and settlement, not just by people yelling about it online, right? And there's some other stuff that we're talking about here, but that's in reference to what's happening with stablecoins, and it's just not happening where people are looking. Like it's quiet. That's adoption, right? It happens in the quiet, in the background. It looks boring, slow, and invisible is what all these things are that I'm looking at, and no one seems to understand that, like, this is where it is happening with the stable coins. However, I think we had talked about this after Singapore. I had said, here's the deal, like, crypto sucks, and everybody knew it. And I had came back with, like, again, I was really excited about crypto again. And it was all the boots were about stable coins, like tons and tons of stablecoin boots. And so the writing, I guess, is right on the wall. Hindsight's 2020 if we look back. And then same kind of thing when we went over to Dubai. A lot of stablecoin options at booths. That was never even a thing. I've been going to conferences for years, and it's the focus was never on stablecoins. Go ahead, Mike.
No, dude, you're absolutely correct. Like, I think we've talked about this before on the show. I had to literally go for a car drive because I swear to God, every time I went to talk, some guy used an air tool. So So I think like with stablecoins, it's going to totally eliminate the need for like currency transfer, like in those places where you want to go and convert currency, because we could just transact between different countries by using stablecoins, and that's where I think the U.S. dollar strength is going to come, where everyone's going to be using the U.S. dollar because it'll just be much easier to get on board and send things digitally in seconds and instantly send, especially in a world where we're losing trust, like the way we trade, like the tensions between Russia, China, U.S., and all that, and what's going on geopolitically. Now we don't need to trust anybody because we can trust the blockchain and instant settlement on your transactions.
I mean, it's happening. It's 100%, man. Here. I'm changing the title of the space here to be a little bit more appropriate versus crypto market update, because I feel like there's probably a better way to have a call to action for more people. Luca, how do you feel about all this? Stable coins.
I'm not so worried. I'm not so worried about the chop that's going on. I think that adoption is coming, and it's taken a long time. But we've made such headwinds in the last few years, and I want to remind everybody what it was like in 2022. I mean, it doesn't take much for you to remember those times where it seemed like everything was going wrong. We had no clarity Gary in office there, and lawsuits and regulation through enforcement, and it just seems like the floodgates are now opened in a much more positive light. So we just need to keep marching forward, and again, us as investors, we have to be ready to deal with the chop, the ups and the downs, and just to circle back earlier, I know this is not exactly on point, but it's my feeling that we didn't have enough rocket fuel to punch up over and hold the 94. So maybe we just do another lap around, fuel up again, and maybe spring up higher a little later. But again, I'm going to be watching like a hawk, just knowing we're walking in the right direction, but maybe the price may not reflect it just yet.
But ultimately, like, we all understand what's happening, right? We're just waiting for some infrastructure to be built, and then this is greenlit everywhere. And so, like, the old days of your early are coming to a very, very close near. Your days are nigh, ladies and gents. Let it be known.
Yeah, unfortunately, companies, institutions, banks, and all that stuff, and governments, they move so damn slow, especially when it comes to building these on ramps and these rails and all that kind of stuff like that, the infrastructure. Because they don't need to. Like they got their money, they got their bags, like they make plenty of money. They don't need to move fast. But it's coming because it is better, and we're moving to a more digital age, and especially with AI. Like, how are AI going to pay themselves? It's going to be digital currency. It has to be some sort of digital currency, so it's going to have to be stablecoins. The most logical thing, right? This is what exists already. So I still think that, yeah, I just believe that, like, it's inevitable, and you're seeing it now with, like, the US is like, we got to get on this stuff because this is the future, and I'm glad they saw it. I wish here we were in Canada, we were more like that, because we have like the best weather here for data centers. Like, we should be making data centers like crazy here.
We'll add that into to what we'll talk about later.
Ooh, Canadian.
I'm ready for a data center.
What do you do? Like, if you have like your own data center, what does that mean? Like, what do you do? What do you get?
Well, it depends on what type of data you want to process, but I would love to start building some sort of node or something, or node network of small nodes, because you can just build it with you can start with just like a Raspberry Pi and a little bit more than that, and just start building and adding onto it.
Yeah, or you can build a crypto project. You can buy a bunch of server cases that have those servers where you have a bunch of like chips in them, and each chip is a cell phone. And you can say, "Hey, I got like 50,000 active daily users." It's just like a cell phone. It's just like a server running like a fake phone.
Yes. The old engagement, actually, those are like actual engagement farms, not engagement farming. Don't mistake that. I'm all for engagement farming. You guys have probably seen a couple of my tweets, a little bit wild lately. I am going after that monetization. So listen, I had learned from Corey, there's a genre you can slip into, and you can get those impressions pretty quick, and it's working. So don't mind me. I'm just engagement farming right now. I don't actually hate the French people.
Just a man farming.
Hey, did you check out Doodle's monetization thing or not?
That app thing that he's got. No, yeah, I'd heard about that. You know what? There was early on when he was doing the spaces, kind of going with the early alpha or the early group. I was gonna be in that, and then I just kind of got busy doing what I was doing and missed out on it. But I know that it's probably launching sometime soon, like for real. I'll take a look at it.
Yeah, I don't know too much about it. I think Luca looked into it a little bit. I don't know if he got in on it or not, but it seems like it's working for a couple people.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've heard from a couple other people that used it that ended up, for like the beta test, whatever, ended up working out pretty well for them. I'm not really sure the intricacies of it and how it works and what all is involved, but um, I'll just piss a few people off along the way. It's all right with me, especially the French. I don't know. It's too funny to me, and I'm sorry to anybody who's actually French. Like, don't worry, I mean no harm. I don't have nothing against the French. It's just funny to eat freedom fries and freedom toast and freedom kiss my wife versus French anything. It's more just a joke. It's engagement. So I love y'all.
Is there anybody French in here?
What's that?
Is there anyone that's French in here?
I have no idea. I probably have some French Canadian in me anyway. So as it turns out. My mom usually says something like that, like quit talking about the French, like in your blood. Like,
well, then you get a pass, right?
Probably.
Yeah, that means you get a pass.
Yeah, I got the F pass. I can use the F word. French.
Yeah, the French Canadians, they're not real French. They like to think they're real French, but they're not real French.
Oh, see, thank you. Thank you. Like, I don't even claim any of that. I'll maybe I should claim the Canadian part, and then that's why we're all brothers. Is that I do probably have some French Canadian in me, and I will just say Canadian. Moving forward, Mom, I'm gonna look in the camera. Mom, moving forward, I'm just Canadian. I'm not French Canadian. I'm Canadian. There you go. Welcome home. I should get dual citizenship now. I'm gonna get a Canadian passport, and then this way maybe they can stop giving me trouble at the border because of my checkered childhood, checkered past. Well, what do we think here? You guys want to talk about RWAs at all? Does anybody care about RWAs right now, or what do you guys care about? What are you looking at as far as in the charts, in the coins, all that stuff? I see Crypto Fight Club coming up.
I basically have sold most of my altcoin portfolio, so I'm hoping that this bull market is extended and like the 40 cycle is broken and we go to some sort of super cycle. That would be nice, but I'm prepared for both options. So I don't know. I don't know. It's a weird part of the market. I feel like anything can happen. Whereas before, in like previous cycles, you were in a bear market. You know it was over.
I muted your mic just so the hammer was going on.
Sounds like he's drywalling right now.
Yeah, we're putting up some wood somewhere.
So I'm actually spackling. I got my siding guys outside beating the shit out of the side of this house, putting some siding up.
You see, like I did my whole basement last year. That sound is like ingrained in my head. I can hear that you're spackling.
Hey, but back to crypto. What do you guys think about Arrow? I hold a pretty decent bag of Arrow. I like the project. I don't think I've ever heard you guys talk about it. I'm kind of curious if you've ever looked into it.
Yeah, definitely. I think Aerodrome is it was one of those ones back in what, early 2024, when a lot of the still the big speculation conversations were happening. That was one of the ones that had a lot of people talking about it. Let's take a look at it right now. Man, it's up well, let's go on the 24-hour. It's down 8%. In the last week, it's up 28%. So it's doing well in the week. Seen a nice little recovery. month, it's down a little bit. It's down to 56 cents. Hit an all-time high over here. What, around 220? Oh, here. You want to see that? There you go. There's the coin market cap chart if you're watching the live stream. Market cap's 511 million. I got to tell you, I feel like this is one of those ones that will have a very bright future when infrastructure catches up, right? There's just a handful that I feel like are the chosen, and Aerodrome probably going to be one of those ones. I think you'll see a nice recovery on this one, like a very nice recovery on this one. It's kind of, you've seen a lot of these over the history of its life cycle, which this dates back to September of 2023. So you've seen some peaks and some valleys. It's currently like valleyed out on its way back up. So could be a good catch.
Yeah, I started DCAing in that pretty heavy. I guess last year when it was like hovering right around 30 cents, like in between that 30 and 50 cent range.
Is Arrow joining with Velo? Oh, that's interesting. What do we know about that?
I know very little about it. There's a couple people in the Discord that talk about it, but I have not kept up with it.
All right, here we go. Aerodrome and Velodrome, two major decentralized exchanges. DEX is on base, and Optimism are merging into a single platform called Arrow. Ooh. Lost you there. Am I back?
Yep.
Yeah, you're back.
Okay.
Good morning.
Let's see. So yeah, they're launching a unified token, Arrow, and a new MetaDex V3 architecture to become a central liquidity layer for Ethereum, featured enhanced MEV capture, cross-chain swaps, and streamlined yield opportunities, aiming to consolidate power and expand across multiple blockchains. So yeah, all right. So they're going to be unified. That is a merger that is happening. Here's a.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, I don't know, to be perfectly honest with you. Let's see. If it's going to be on Ethereum, right? To be honest with you, man, this is does anybody know anything about this?
Not me.
What's up, Tyler?
Hey, buddy. Good morning.
GM.
Good morning, everyone.
Well, we're going to have to figure out more about this, if this is a good thing. I mean, this article is from, it looks like November 13th of 2025. So this is not new news. So we got to check this out.
Yeah, it sounds like.
Well, considering they're merging and not rugging, that's probably good news.
That's always true.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it sounds like just going off of like what it sounds like, just from a baseline. Sounds like it's a positive thing for Velodrome, but I don't know. Will it have any impact on Arrow?
I mean, what does everybody think of Optimism? What does everybody think of Velodrome? What does Velodrome do?
I might be wrong, but I had thought I heard and understood that Velodrome and Aerodrome were kind of like the same developers. Were kind of like two peas in a pod. One was for Velo and for Optimism, and Arrow for Base. So it seems like they're just kind of bringing the two companies together under one roof again. But the thing is this something that scares off investors, or is this something that unifies investors and says, this is just a little bit better now. Now we have two income streams united into one type thing. Because Arrow, the thing about Arrow is that they really did turn a good profit with their services, and they're the main liquidity provider for all of Base, of course, among other things. So that was the thing about Arrow, and that's what during choppy times and down times in the market, they were still turning profits, kind of like you would expect, like Uniswap was doing back in the day, especially last cycle. So yeah, good question. I'm still trying to figure out the answer for myself too.
So looking at the websites, look, if you guys are watching the stream right now, here's the Aerodrome website. Swap, deposit, take to the skies. Go over to the Velodrome. Swap, deposit, take the lead. Velodrome is a decentralized exchange where you can execute low fee swaps. I mean, the websites are literally identical. It's the same thing. It's just literally just the same thing. Just on the different blocks.
So they merged with themselves.
The super chain. Very interesting. I think base is I mean, to me, base is going to be a big opportunity. There was the space that we were on. Was that yesterday's show where we were talking a lot about base, right? Just with some of the NFT.
Yeah,
It was all about that base yesterday.
All about that base. All that base. No trouble. Yeah, that's a good. Base is where it's going to be at. When the retail comes, base is where it's going to be at. Trust me. That shit is cheap. Cheap. It's not foreign.
Yeah, and J-Chain.
Yo.
Sorry, go ahead.
Mike, I don't want to cut you off. I was just going to ask about Ondo, about the supply being dropped, but go for it.
I was just gonna say, like, being cheap is like what we need things to happen. I've always said this for crypto. It's like no one's gonna want to use it when fees are so expensive and things take forever to settle and stuff like that. If you wanted people to use it for their every day to day, I don't want to be paying fees. People don't even want to be paying, or even vendors don't even want to be paying like the fees they have for Visa. That's why like certain places don't even take American Express because the fees are too high.
That is so that is something. Let's see. That is something that I firmly believe. That retail absolutely will reject Ethereum because of the fees. I got to move some of these lines here. It's time to relay some of them because Ondo had clearly broken down its structure, right? And so it. See, we're still on the week here. Let's switch over to the daily. I'm still a firm believer in Ondo, right? Like this is the market itself has been shit. Yeah, this one's been hit pretty hard, but ultimately the work that they're doing is going to pay off, and where tokenization and bringing the stock market on chain is going to pay off for these guys. I will be in New York City right now. I'm like 95% yes. I'll be in New York City for the Ondo Summit on February 3rd. So I'll be in there for a few extra days around that. So if anybody's in the city and wants to connect, let's make sure that we set that up ahead of time. Would love to hang out and meet a few people.
Isn't February 3rd like when all the RWAs and stuff come online? Around that time. That's when the law like goes into effect where all the like the pension funds and stuff can invest in crypto.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So February.
That's why
3rd.
I think we're in an That's why I think we're in an accumulation right now. Before that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm all for it. I need to be accumulating, so it works for me. Yes, sir. I'm on board. The whole unlock. What date is the actual unlock? Is it February 18th?
I think it was January. I'll check it.
I'm sorry. Yeah, January 18th. It's the same day every year. Last year, everybody was freaking out and it actually pumped. I just don't know if there's a reason for it to really go crazy leading up to the unlock. But it's the same news as last year. Like nothing changed. Like a lot of it goes to institutionals that aren't. It's not they're going to fucking sell. Like the token's way the fuck down. Like they got it like around this price. Like they can't sell it right now and take a loss. That's not the whole thing. So they're just adding it to the reserves. It's not they're these tokens that are being unlocked, the vast majority of them are not for paper handlers. They're for institutions. So you'll be fine. Everything will be fine.
I have some stats here.
Nice.
So the total release will be 57 and change percent.
Mm-hmm.
9%, 9.5% goes to private sales. 23.5 goes to ecosystem growth. 24-ish goes to protocol development, and that's how you round out the 57. So it's basically 50% of the tokens are now being released onto the market. But the last one was over 100%, and that we were running high into that one.
Yeah, it was a very, very heavy unlock last year. And I think that's why it's not as much of the supply. It's the same amount, but not as much as the supply, because effectively it was like 1.5 times the supply last time, 1.25 or whatever it was. Yeah. Mike, go for it.
So we can go through this a little bit more tonight in detail, but I'm not really into like Ondo and like the current news and all that. I just was looking at the chart right now, and a part of me feels like that big liquidation that we had in October went down to like 23 cents. I think we're going to fill that. I think we're going to go back to that wick. The daily looks like it has room to move down, and the weekly is looking like the stochastic RSI is bottoming. So before we go up, I believe like 23 cents is probably in the cards before we go up. And I can show you on the chart like this tonight what like my whole thought process behind this.
I love this.
If
Definitely.
we go to 23 cents, I am loading up if we go to 23 cents.
It's that same look. It's that same wick as I said, Bitcoin to back to 80,000. But really, like we potentially could, especially if we are in a slump, we could go a little bit lower, right? And so to hit that 80,000 wick, to hit this 23-cent wick, to hit, I mean, what other SWE wick down to 55 cents, Solana wick down. It didn't really wick down. It's already bounced back. Link wick down to $7.52. Like there's a lot of freaking opportunities on a lot of coins. If we do revisit those wicks, hold on to your butts, but get ready to load the fuck up. That's what's gonna happen. So, all right.
I'll pull all my money out of my business account and just throw it into everything.
That would be I gotta find ways. I'm gonna sell everything. I'll sell everything, maybe even a kidney or a lung or whatever. What do you only need, one kidney or one lung to live?
Probably one kidney.
I was gonna say, dude, you might want both of your lungs.
Yeah. I definitely need the lungs. A kidney. I don't want to give up any organs. We'll find other ways to do this. Other ways to get in the game here and get that stack up that bread.
Let's make
Yeah, you don't want to go down off a kidney shot, man.
Wouldn't that be the worst? Like you donate a kidney to, or not donate, you sell a kidney to get rich, and then you get smoked up needing a kidney because you've got a kidney shot. That'd be ironic. No way, it ain't happening.
Can you tokenize your kidney?
Shut up. Yes, we should absolutely consider that in the Empire DAOs. We're going to tokenize human organs as part of the transplant list.
That might be popular in Mexico.
The DAO decides if you get to keep it or not, J Chains.
The tribe has spoken. J Chains, get rid of the organ. No, I want honestly, well, no, I don't do well. I've had to transplant an organ before, and I was gonna puke like the whole elevator ride. It was during the COVID time, and the service. It was when we had our child, and oh man, I'm like getting mouth watery thinking about this. And so they wouldn't come into the hospital. There was no guests, all that kind of stuff. And so I had to, in a cooler, bring organs down to meet this person outside. And I was like fucking gagging the whole time. Like, just, I don't do well with that kind of stuff. And so you ain't got to worry about me, guys. Not at all. All right. That's the end of the road for us today. That was a horrible story. That's how we're ending. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for being here. If you are watching the stream, make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you do that. If you are in the space, you know the drill. Tag your friends. Be back tomorrow, 10 a.m. We got I got a big day today. I got a couple shows at 4:30, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while since I've been like on the East Coast. I feel like 4:30 Eastern. We got the H-Bar show, so make sure you are Rapdex. Make sure you are part of that. I see my guy Postmaster down in the crowd. Appreciate you being here, brother. It goes for everybody. Thank you for being here. You could literally be doing anything, but you came and hung out, listened, and some of you even participated. Y'all know I appreciate that. So, all right, back later this afternoon, and then Mike and I will be live streaming at 9 p.m. Eastern tonight, talking news, numbers, charts, all that fun stuff. So, until I see you again, ciao for now, as they say.